with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States. You will find my Stampin' Up! Online store at teresaharper.stampinup.net. I would appreciate any orders you send my way. All right, so let's go ahead and see who we've got on, if anyone, at the moment. And we'll give everybody a minute or two and then we'll get started. Okay, let's go. There we go. Got the live chat up. And we'll see who comes on. All right. So tonight I'm going to be using the Simply Leaves bundle. Hello, Cynthia. And that bundle just came out in July. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Hope we're back. Hope I didn't lose anybody. I don't know what happened. I looked over and everything was spinning. Hello, Cher. Hello, Tracy. Nope, it's not just your end, Tracy. I had the same thing. I don't know what's going on. Haven't had any issues really today. Maybe they think I used too much internet today. I did the Pretty Poinsettia craft class that Stampin' Up! Offers, and that was today. And this. So it's really good size box, about 4.5-inch square. Kind of a unique opening. And then that features the Pretty Poinsettia bundle. Love those impression dies. They really make a difference. Okay, so we've got that. Not good now. Well, that's a neat box. Are we still? I hope we don't continue to have issues. Let me see. Hang on. Let me move that and see what happens. I don't know why we're having connection issues. Okay, we also made this in the class, and I finally learned how to use that. This particular stamp. So that's good. So we made this using the stamps and the dies, and then I finished it off inside like this. I haven't done the envelope yet, but that was a fun project. That is all I got done. That class also had a it also had a 2-page scrapbook page layout. And when they designed their scrapbook page layout, they designed it so that you could take the 2-page layout and make 6 cards from that layout. So I did not do that because I was busy doing my box. And of course, you know, I had to make myself a prototype so that I could recreate it later and make the templates, because that is such a neat little box that I needed to be able to do it later. And I never use good stuff when I'm creating a box for the first time because, yeah, you don't know how much stuff you're going to mess up, and I don't want to mess up my good stuff. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started with our, that class was pretty good. So we're, again, I said, if you missed it, we're using Simply Leaves bundle. And we're also going to be mashing that up with the Extraordinary Life bundle. Don't ask me where the idea came from at midnight last night, but that's what I came up with. So that's what we're doing. And our colors for this evening, I think I'm only using these 3. Golden Glow, Pretty Peacock, and Crisp Cantaloupe. Yep, I think that's it. So we've got those 3. And then we're also going to be using the seasonal cheer, one of the seasonal cheer embossing folders. That is a new set of mini folders that came out in July, and you get bats and stars, and then you get a candy cane, and then you get the leaves. And so we're going to be using the leaves. I want to show you how you can use that on a full-size project. So we're going to be using that folder. This is not a 3D folder, it's just a regular folder. And then I'm going to be combining the Golden Glow bordered ribbon with the gold striped mesh ribbon. So we'll need those. And apparently I didn't put any dots on there, so we'll have to figure that out as we go here. I think I probably have the perfect ones to use in my head already. So let's go ahead and get started. So we've got a card base in Pretty Peacock. This is A2 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the center at 4 1/4. And then I've got a piece of the Gingham Gallery Designer Series paper. Let me pull that out because I put it away right after my class. So this is the 2026 to 2028 in colors, and they're all in this gingham. So you get 2 sheets each of the same design. So it's just the two-sided design, and you get 2 sheets of each of those. So I've used Crisp Cantaloupe, and I'm using the lighter side of that. As you can see, it has the bigger squares on the back. I have already run this through my seasonal cheer embossing folder. This particular piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And what I did with this was I took this, centered it in the folder, even on the sides, and then I ran it through. And yes, I have a little bit of embossed, but that kind of adds to the beauty of the piece. It almost makes it look like I added an additional piece of cardstock when I did it. Okay, so we've got that. Now, well, I gave myself no white cardstock to stamp on. That was good. But fortunately, I have plenty right here. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping. And we're going to start with some Golden Glow. And this is the new magnetic ink pads. And I'm just going to ink that up. Actually, I'm going to flip that over and ink it this way. It's a rather large stamp. And hopefully I don't get that all over the place. Okay, now I'm going to use the die for this. And so I need to move over to the right and up from the bottom so that I have room for the die. Okay, so we've got that. And then we also need this stamp from the Simply Leaves. We're going to do that in Golden Glow. And so I'm just going to stamp that over here because this is the way that my punch points. All right, so I've got that one. And I think that's all of the stamping that we need to do in Golden Glow. So let's go ahead and put that away. And then we'll get out Pretty Peacock. And for Pretty Peacock, we're going to use this stamp. And these will work much better if I get my Stampin' Pierce mat here. I'm just going to stamp that down. Okay. And then I need to stamp my sentiment, but I need to wait until I get this die cut. So we're going to not do that at the moment. And then we're going to take Crisp Cantaloupe and the third leaf in that bundle, or in that set, the third large leaf, I should say. And we're going to ink that up in Crisp Cantaloupe. Give that a good press. And that is it for colors. Now we're going to take some Memento Tuxedo Black, and we need to stamp 2 of the florals from Extraordinary Life, and we're also going to stamp the butterfly. And really, you're going to need 2 butterflies, one for the outside and one for the inside. Okay, and that is all of our stamped pieces. All right, so for the leaves, we're just going to take our leaf punch, and we're going to line this up, and pray I'm not having internet issues while I'm not looking, and we'll just give those a punch. Okay, so we've got our leaves. We can put away our punch, and then we're going to color our butterflies. So the way I did this, I'm only going to color one. I've actually already done this, but I did want to show you how I did it. So I'm going to start with the light crisp cantaloupe, and I'm going to color in all of the crisp cantaloupe all at once. Okay, so I've got those pieces there. And then I'm going to go back with some dark crisp cantaloupe, and I'm just going to flick in some color from the center outward. And then we're going to move to the light Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to put some here and here. Now, if you were doing this, you would want to do 2 at the same time. That's what I did. Get all of your colors done all at once, and I did this a little differently than I actually did color it, but it's fine. And then, okay, so that's all of that. And then we're going to take the Golden Glow Shimmer Brush. Oh, wait a minute, I got to put Crisp Cantaloupe here because I'm messed up. And put the Lost Lagoon where the Crisp Cantaloupe was supposed to go. So we need to fix that. We're doing it a little bit backwards. It's okay. However you want to color it is what works. So I'm going to take my shimmer brush, my Golden Glow. I'm going to dot in my little dots here. Check my... No, I did not find the oval scallop die. It's a pretty large die to lose. And I went through the trash like 3 times. I went so far as to move it from one bag to the next here in the studio, because I know I haven't emptied my bin in a while. I have a pretty big little bin, so it takes quite a while to fill it up. Okay, so now we've got all of that in Golden Glow. Okay, and then for my flowers, I took and used the Golden Glow right in the center. Then I took my Crisp Cantaloupe Dark and I went around where the petals were overlapping each other because there would be shadows there. And then I flicked a little bit around the center and went back and filled this in with the light. Okay, and you need to do that for both of those flowers. Okay. And then we're going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella on those because I don't have the Crisp Cantaloupe shimmer brush. Okay, but if you have the Crisp Cantaloupe shimmer brush, you might want to use it. So now let's get those dies. And what you're going to need is you need this piece. And the way this piece works is you put this on and line up the top line and the bottom line and this side edge here. And then you would glue that down, or not glue it down, but tape it down. That's what I do. Here is butterfly die. There's flower die. Okay, so you would run those through on your die cut machine. And then you would take a piece of Lost Lagoon and cut 2 of this detailed die. So you need 2 of those. Okay. And through the magic of video, you don't have to watch all that because I already did it at 1:30 this morning. Oh, that's my inside piece. Okay, so this is what we have. So here are our flowers, and here are our leaves. We're going to attach those. Oh, and then with the heart die in here, sorry, you need a piece of the mixed up patterned paper. Let's see, do I have that one? Yep, I do. Let me grab that. The mixed up pattern papers. This is it. This is 12 by 12. You get 2 each of 6 double-sided designs. And this is the piece that I'm using here. Okay. All right, so that is that. And we've got that. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to bring back in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I've pulled the sentiment from the Simply Leaves. And I'm using the one that says a little something to say hello. And I've mounted that on my Stampin' Positioner small block so that I can get that straight because I found that I couldn't stamp it straight. So I'm going to ink that up in Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to turn it right side up. And then I'm going to set this in here like so. line that up with the lines on the pad here. And then I'm going to give that a good press. Okay. And now my sentiment is nice and straight. Okay. So that piece is now ready to go, and we are ready to start assembling our card. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Bring back in our card base and our base layer. And we're going to start by putting this down. And you all know I love liquid glue for 3D or for embossed folders. Just holds better in my opinion. And I'm not squeezing now, I'm just running my tip across the glue so that it doesn't bunch up. And then we'll go ahead and add this to our card front. Like so. Then I'll take my bone folder, give that a gentle press just to spread out that glue. And we're going to take our piece here, and again, use a little bit of liquid glue. Tracy, I checked all my magnet sheets and I pulled all of the sets that I had out that I had been using. I pulled them out and looked at them to make sure it didn't get stuck. I looked on the back of the stamp positioner tool. Okay, I'm gonna put that about right there. I don't even know where to look at this point. It'll show up because it's in this studio somewhere. I even looked on the back of my my MISTI tool and some other things. Anything that had a magnet, I looked on the back of. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to take, and I'm going to build on this little heart here. And I've taken my butterfly, and I'm giving him a little push in the middle and a gentle little bone fold there. And then I'm going to take a couple of glue dots. I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to roll that into a little log. And then I'm going to put that on the back of my butterfly in the center. Take another one, do the same thing here. And maybe I'll get it off the take your pick tool. There we go. Come on. Okay. And then I'm going to put this over here like so. I want part of the heart to show because I don't want to cover the entire heart up. Most of it is going to get covered up, but that's okay. Then I'm going to take a glue dot, and I don't know about you guys, but this batch of glue dots that I have is super, super sticky. Now I'm putting my glue dot on the front bottom of my leaf. So I've turned those over, and I'm going to hope that I can get those off. And then I'm going to put this one about right here on this flower. And then I'm going to take this one. Oh, I caught it. Yay. Didn't go all the way to the floor. And that glue dot is really sticking to my nail there. And then I'm going to put this one on the opposite side like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring back in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Got those all together. And I'm going to give this a little push in the center. And this one a little push in the center. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. Turn those over. Grab some glue dots. Let's stick that right in the center there. And right in the center there. And we're going to put this one down here underneath the butterfly wing. And I'm going to tuck that up so you can see the tip of the heart. And then we're going to put this one over here. Oh, like so. Okay, so we've got ourselves a nice little cluster. And this is going to go here. And then, but before we can put that on, we need to put our leaves together. This is a lot of glue dots for this project. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the Pretty Peacock stem and on the Golden Glow stem. Okay. And I'm going to attach the Pretty Peacock on the top. Yep. On the top here, like so. And then I'm going to add the crisp cantaloupe in the back. Like that. Okay. Actually, I did this a little differently. Let me attach this here. And attach the Pretty Peacock to the crisp cantaloupe and the Golden Glow on top. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take this little trio and I'm actually going to add some dimensionals here. Oh, I gotta get, I'm down to the bare bones here. So let me cut those. And I'm just gonna put them at, I'm gonna put it on the two front ones at the tip. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of seal on that back one. Take off those backings. And then we're going to put this down here. Kind of like this. All right. About like that. Okay. Now I haven't pushed these down just in case I decide I want to change my mind. And I'm going to take and put a little bit of liquid glue on my heart. And I'm going to put that down kind of at an angle there. Okay. And then we're going to add our ribbon. So what I did was I took a piece of the gold striped mesh ribbon and I cut it in half. And I took a piece of the Golden Glow bordered ribbon and I also cut it in half. Okay, and then I'm going to take these and tie them in a bow, and through the magic of television, here we are. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to take some glue dots. And if one will work, two is better. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick this right here. Got some little extra threads sticking there, just makes it look a little bit more fancy, I say. And then let's grab some in color butterfly gems. Let's see what we got here, because these seem to be appropriate. So let's take, I want to take and turn these. Yeah, maybe I don't need to. Yeah, I'm going to take and turn these little Peaceful Pine into Pretty Peacock. Let's get our dark Pretty Peacock. I'm not going to see that much of a difference. I'm just going to take my bullet tip and color those. Okay. If you don't have the perfect color, make the perfect color. Okay, and then I'm actually going to put one of these here, and we'll take a smaller one, put it down here, and finally I'll put another one. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right here. Right there. I think that looks pretty good. Give those a press. And then for, oh, thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Cynthia. For the inside of our card, because it's a little something to say hello, we could use this for pretty much any occasion. So I'm not putting an inside sentiment in, and it'll probably just be a note card. But I've taken and stamped in Pretty Peacock that same leaf that I used here, and that second butterfly I colored and put there. And then we'll just add this to the inside of our card to bring it all together from front to inside. Because who wants a naked inside? In my opinion, no naked insides, no naked envelopes. The party shouldn't stop when you open a card. So there we go. Got that. And there is a coordinating envelope. Now I did take one of the little tabby stamp banner stamps and I put up there. I did it to cover some smooshy ink. Shh, don't tell anyone. That was just a need for embellishment, and there we go. It was an opportunity. I took it. Makes the envelope look pretty cool. And then on the back, I stamped the small little gingham leaf, also from the Simply Leaves. Okay, everybody, that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And I will see you next Tuesday on Facebook at 7 p.m. Everybody, have a great weekend and be happy. Good health to you and happy stamping. Good night.